Hello guys, this is Flag coming at you from the sub-basement of HelixxVR headquarters, and today I'll be reviewing PolyCube by the developer. Company name goes here. PolyCube is an early access 3D puzzle block tile matching game where you strategically flip, rotate, and orient a variety of randomly drawn polyominoes, matching them up before the time runs out and the pieces drop, or the stack of blocks reaches the top. PolyCube is a VR and desktop title that supports the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and the Windows Mixed Reality headsets. This title fully supports gamepads, track touch controllers, along with keyboard and mouse. You can play this title seated on your monitor, or in VR, allowing for seated, standing, and full room scale gameplay. In PolyCube, you start off with a very intuitive user interface that has the basic options that one would expect in such a title. Everything works great, from customizing your controls, changing the volume of effects and music individually, along with a fully functional exit game button. I'm putting emphasis on this due to how many titles have been made lately, completely forgetting that players may not actually want to live inside their games. And this one actually did it right. The first time you play PolyCube, you will notice the non-invasive tutorial or instructions panel showing you the buttons and keys and what functions they perform, along with the objective of the game. Now, for most people, this objective will be quite obvious, as PolyCube is based on one of the most popular games, if not the most popular game ever made, Tetris. The biggest difference here is the fact that you are playing in a 3D space, and instead of eliminating rows in a single 2D plane, you are having to fill in the plane along the X and Z axes rather than the traditional X and Y axes. Even though PolyCube may seem just like another Tetris clone, I can assure you this is not your grandma's Tetris game. Along with having the standard tetromino block sets found in most titles, there are a variety of blocks in this one, ranging from the single block to clusters that are made up of 9 or more that force you to think in 3 dimensions, as those blocks have to be translated in all 3 axes at once in order for proper placement. The controls of the game not only allow you to flip, rotate, and move the blocks along the 3 axes, but also allow you to rotate the game board 360 degrees right and left, along with a peek function for those playing on monitor that allows you to rotate the board to view it from the top, revealing those missing blocks that may be hidden in the center. Along with that, this title is not bound to being played only on the desktop, as it features a very well-made VR mode where you can play with either a gamepad or touch controls and make use of your entire play space to walk around the game board, giving you a much better view of what's going on. This is my preferred way of playing PolyCube, as it takes it from being a fun, addictive game on screen to adding a huge layer of immersion, seeing the blocks in the same play space as myself, while at the same time causes you to lose a good amount of time as the addiction level increases as well. At this time, there is no locomotion feature built into the game, which doesn't take anything away from it, but for those of you who have very limited play spaces, you might not be able to walk around the entirety of the game board, but the rotation function eliminates that need anyways. The graphics of this title are very well done and match up perfectly for this type of game. The blocks and playfield are bright and quite sharp on both screen and in VR. Even the font used is quite easy to read as well. As for the sound, well, from the arcade-style background music to the effect sounds of manipulating blocks to dropping them and eliminating rows, this is done exactly as you would expect, which in my opinion is done perfectly. As far as bugs are concerned, I've run across none. I have only one issue with the title, and that is being taken care of as I speak, which is with the block manipulation on the Vive touch controls. I don't believe this issue occurs with the Oculus Touch or with Windows Mixed Reality controls, as they both feature analog sticks. The current state of the Vive controls, however, relies on the touchpad for flipping, rotating, translating, and dropping blocks, and this is perfectly fine, but the issue is that it's extremely sensitive, as those manipulations are done by touching the pad rather than pressing, which causes you to inadvertently manipulate or drop blocks. This does, however, add another layer of difficulty to the title, though unintended, and as I stated, the dev is fully aware of this issue and is working on it right now. As for now, I suggest playing this title in VR with a gamepad, and while being a VR purist myself, I usually won't play a VR title with anything other than the touch controls, but I've made an exception in this game's case. Playing with a controller does not take away from the immersion here, as the touch controls are generally used in the same manner. This is not to say that I won't switch back to the touch controls as soon as the game is patched. Did I mention that you can also play this game with just about any other type of gamepad that you can think of, including the Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and even a cheap Logitech controller like the one I use. And from what I just read, the Nintendo Switch. PolyCube is currently available on Steam for roughly $5, €5, or £4 and is worth every penny of it. While being a newly released early access title, this game is very polished and more fun than the standard Tetris, and if you're like me, you will get many hours of enjoyment out of it. Along with that, there are even more features coming out in the near future, including custom game modes, even better VR and controller support along with Steam controller support, leaderboards, and a possible local multiplayer mode. With all that said, I highly recommend PolyCube. It is a fresh take on an old immortal classic, and if you like puzzle block games similar to Tetris, Dr. Mario, and the like, then give this game a try. For the price of 2 cups of coffee, you can't go wrong. If you found this title interesting and want to check it out further, I provided a link to it in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you didn't, well, hit that other button. If you want to see more videos like this one, please support us here at HelixxVR and press that subscribe button. It won't cost you a thing, and the videos are free too. Also, don't forget to check out our other great videos on YouTube at HelixxVR, which is the channel you're on right now. The other guys, they work hard to create some really great content, live feeds, and giveaways on a daily basis. For more stuff HelixxVR, check the description below. Until next time, guys, this is Flag, heading back to the basement. See ya!